Today we're going to do some fab travelling hip circles with an extra little twist. I'm going to start off by teaching you really good technique for travelling hip circles. So even if you know how to do them, then watch this bit to get them really working well for you and make sure that the quality is as good as possible. And then I'm going to teach you some extra little twists, some little special things that we can add to our hip circles to elevate them and make them really fun, and to give them that extra polish and that extra lift. So let's go. So if we go back to the absolute basics of a hip circle, what's happening is, and you can see me sideways on as well, so you can see what's happening with my hips, yeah? So that's why I always have myself like this, sort of at angles to my mirror, so you can see the front bit of me here as well as straight on, yeah? So as I take a little step to the side, my hips come forward. As my feet come together, they go to the back. I'm going round in this smooth circle, but effectively I'm going forward and then I'm going back. I'm going forward and I'm going back. Let's go back the other way. So the hip needs to kind of like start off here, so my weight's actually here, so this hip is coming here, it's coming forward, round and back. Forward, round and back. So that's really breaking it down there. And can you see again how my feet are nice and flat on the ground? So I'm not lifting my heel up because that's going to make that happen, yeah? So that's why we have to keep our heels down all the time. And the other thing that I'm doing is I'm keeping my feet fairly close together. Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to kind of like, when people start off, they often just make everything way too big because they think it's really difficult. The other thing as well is this hip circle is actually quite slow. All that's happening is I'm just going to the front, around to the back, to the front, round to the back. When people start off doing hip circles, they'll often try and do too many, yeah, so they're kind of like doing this kind of thing, yeah, and it's actually a lot more simple than that. We're just going forward and back and forward and back, yeah. Now, the other thing as well, we're going to do 4 to one side and 4 to the other side. This is a really important tip. A hip circle, like many of the steps that we do, is comprised of 2 sections, yeah, or 2 steps. 1, 2. A step together. 1, 2, 1, 2. The weight is going down on this foot, down on that foot. Step together. Feel that foot on the floor, feel that foot on the floor, feel that foot. Now, the last one that we do, if we're going to do 4, so the 4th one, really importantly, we don't want to put the foot down on the last one. So let's have a look. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And all I'm going to do here is I'm just going to touch. Now that little touch tells my brain that I'm going back the other way. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, touch. Yeah, and it's also going to be really important. That little touch is going to be really important when we start to add little extra bits into these hip circles. Yeah? So 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, touch. That tells us we're going back the other way. This foot's ready, but we've got to put the heel down. Put that heel down, and 2, and 3, and 4, touch. Should we add some arms? A really nice little simple arm pattern that I like to do with hip circles is to bring my arms up to the side, bring it forward, bring it in, pull the elbows back, and down, touch. Now, an arm pattern, you want to take that slowly. Don't rush through it. Yeah, first of all, get your feet ready and get your feet used to what you're doing, get your hips used to what you're doing, and then you can add your arms. Don't try and do everything at once because the brain can't take it, yeah? But when you start to add the arms, can you see how I'm taking it slowly? 1, 2, 3, 4, touch. 1, bring it forward, bring them in, elbows come back to touch. Now if you've seen here, can you see those elbows are back? Which means that I can bring my hands down here rather than having them here. Yeah? You do need to just make sure that you can pull those shoulders back a little bit. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, touch. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, touch. We'll practice everything through with some music at the end. Okay, let's do the next bit. This is our first little sort of slightly more advanced move. We're adding a twist at the end of our 4th hip circle. Yeah? So we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, twist, twist, twist. Let's do that on the other side and I'll show you how we're going to do it. And 3 and 4, twist, twist, twist. Now, how do I do that? So remember my hips are going forward and forward and forward and forward. Very, very importantly, we definitely don't want to complete this last one, yeah? So we've just taken that step. Now the hip is naturally near the front because I've just done that step. I'm going to bring this hip back, so I'm going to twist it back, twist it forward, twist it back. That then means that this hip is forward. You want to make sure that both hips come forward when you do that first step, that you don't end up doing an old twisty one here. Ideally, because we're doing a full hip circle. Yeah, circle. The other thing I meant to say, by the way, is when we're doing this hip circle, yeah, to really make it as beautiful as possible, not only do you want it to be level, but you want it to be creating a beautiful, like a saucer going around your body. Your upper body is nice and still, yeah, and these hips are going around. Obviously, as you get more experienced at it, you get a little bit more stretchy, you can do a slightly bigger one, but you don't want to overdo it. You always want to keep your body in a sort of a natural looking way. You don't want to be doing massive things here, yeah? So be careful not to just, push it too far, but you're certainly aiming for a lovely round circle. So that twist. Let's imagine I've just done my last one, yeah? So there's my last one. So remember, we're not completing the circle. This hip is here. I'm pulling that hip back. I'm pushing it forward and I'm pulling it back again. This one's ready to go and both hips are going to go forward. This foot's ready. Forward and 2 and 3 and 4. This hip is forward. Bring it back, forward, back. Yeah? So the sequence is circle, 2, 3, 4, back, forward, back, forward, 2, 3, 4, back, forward, back. I'm going to give you 2 arm patterns for this one. We can just lift one arm up and the other one goes down, yeah? So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, back, forward, back. Yeah, and then all I'm going to do is slowly and beautifully change my arms. 1, take your time over it. 2, 3, 4, back, forward, back. And use your eyes as well. Your eyes are telling the audience what's happening. Look at this. And look at that fabulous hip. Give them a little smile in the middle if you want, but da, da, da. Yeah? Direct their attention down here. Over, 2, 3, 4, back, forward, back. Slightly fancier arm pattern is, let's start up here, 2, 3, 4, back, forward, back. Now I'm going to bring this arm across as this one comes up. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, back, forward, back. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, back, forward, back. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, back, forward, back. Let's drill those through. to some music, and then I'm going to give you an even more a twist, something a little bit even more extra. Okay, let's give it a go. Okay, here we go. Just the circles. 1 and 2 and beautiful salsa circle. Touch. 1 and 2 and keep those heels down and touch. Keep those heels on the ground. Keep the feet small. Don't make too big a step. And we'll add the arms next time. So the arms come up and forward, shoulders down, in and down. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2. Keep the neck long. And 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. And one more set each side, and then we'll add the twist. Here we go, no arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, back, forward, back. 1, 2, 3, 4, back. 1, 2, 3, 4, back, forward, back. 4, and 2, and 3, and 4. 2, 3, 4. Let's add the other set of arms. I'm going to lift this arm up. And just let your gaze look down here. Back, forward, back. Nice, simple change of the arms. Back, back, back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that. 1. Let's add the turning out. So 1, show your face, and then it comes to the hip. Look at that. This one comes across, the other one comes up. Yeah, see it? 3, 4, and twist, and 1, 2. Lots to think about here. This one, the high one comes down, and the low one goes up. Don't forget to add that little gaze. 2, 3. You can still look at your audience in between. And gradually look over and down. Last one. Well done. So now we're going to get extra juicy and a little bit more advanced. Yeah, this is going to be a little extra move. It's going to give that extra bit of spice and elevate it even more. So, we're doing let's do our circle. Let's do the last 2. 3, 4. Now we're doing our twist, twist, and instead of doing the third twist back, I'm going to tuck here. Now that tuck is just a little tuck of a big muscle inside called the psoas muscle, or the iliopsoas muscle. You can feel it if you just if you bend your knees a little bit, put your hand here, sort of where your V is, yeah? Put the hand here, and if you just tuck your tail in underneath, you'll feel that little engagement here. Yeah, it's sort of partly the lower abs, but it's also very much the psoas, what we call the psoas muscle, which is a really important muscle in our belly dancing. It's what's called a hip flexor. So what we're going to be doing, the hip goes back, forward, and then I tuck, and look what happens here on my foot, yeah? So I'm going back, forward, tuck. Because I'm tucking, that foot just slightly comes off the ground, just a teeny weeny bit, and it just gives a little, 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, da, da, tuck. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Here it is. Twist, twist, tuck. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. twist, tuck. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, twist, twist, tuck. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, twist, twist, tuck. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, twist, twist, tuck. Fancy your arms. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, twist, twist, tuck. 1. Slow with those arms, make them beautiful. If you're going to do your arms, you want to try and make them as lovely as possible, even though there's 100 things to think about, or with the head and tucking and remembering not to put your foot down at the end. 3 and 4, twist, twist, tuck. Let's run that through with this piece of music. Okay, let's drill it through with the twist, twist, tuck, starting with no arms. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, twist, twist, tuck. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, twist, twist, tuck. 4 and step. Hip goes back, forward. I can't say it. 3, 4, back, forward, tuck. Oh, I can. And 2 and 3 and 4, back, forward, tuck. 1. Let's add the long arms. 1, 2, 3, 4, twist, twist, tuck. 1. Smooth change over. 3, 4, twist, twist, tuck. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, twist, twist, tuck. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, twist, twist, tuck. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, twist, twist, tuck. 1. Let's add the fancy arms going down. 2, 3, 4, twist, twist, tuck. One arm comes down, the other one goes up. 4, twist, tuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, twist, twist, tuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, twist, twist, tuck. 1. I hope I'm not going too far with it. I hope you can see my feet. Last one. Well, we can also do 2, of course. We can just go 1, 2, twist, twist, tuck. 1, 2, twist, twist, tuck. 1, 2, twist. So we do 1, 1. Yes. Then it becomes something called a jewel, which I've taught in a previous lesson. Yes, this is known as the jewel. I've got a whole lesson about the jewel and I think some combinations to go with it. So I'll put that at the end of the video so that you can check that out if you want to. But hope you enjoyed that. Practice it through. Add it into your own dancing. Teach it, of course. If you find that if you're a teacher and you find that some of the things that I've said helpful, please use them. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.